Welcome to the Sports Show. Mike, Max, Patrick Royce, Lavelle, E. Neal, and Sid Hartman. It is that time of year, Sid, between the Super Bowl and we take a little bit of a peek to the summer months when it can be warm outside again. The Twins Fest in town.
Warm outside. This is the worst winter I can ever remember.
Is it the worst one you remember? You've seen a lot of them, more than us.
Boy, I used to sell papers in these cold days, ride my bike home at night. 7 o'clock, the papers came out, and there was a 3 o'clock lineup. That was the last streetcar that would leave Hennepin Avenue. So I was there from 7 to 3 in weather like this, and then ride my bike home.
You must have froze the old brain, huh?
Papers were 6 cents. Sunday paper was 6 cents.
They'll give you a dime, those big spending
The big
Swedes.
spenders that throw you a dime.
Big spending Swedes that say keep the 4 pennies.
That winter of 1896, that was a tough one, Sid, wasn't it?
Lavelle, did you get any more encouraged by the team by being around them this weekend?
At Twins Fest, you know, they're just trying to deal with the culture of losing and try to turn that around. They think with the with Hughes and Ricky Nolasco in the fold that they won't be a 90-loss team at least.
Yeah. So really what you do is you try to get some starting pitching because you think the bullpen is your team strength, and you try to make yourself competitive, Patrick, and who knows what that'll take you.
It was frightening, though, and I think your colleague, Phil Miller laid out the lineup the other day.
Oh, that was horrible.
That is... You can't seriously tell me Alex Presley's going to be your starting center fielder and then expect us to take you seriously as a team.
And you can win with pitching and little offense, and you can't win the other way around, but you got to have some semblance of the offense.
Something.
Garty doesn't know what his lineup is. He doesn't know who his where you're going to bat. After you figure out where you're going to bat Mauer, first, second, or third, you don't know how the rest of the lineup's going to fall apart.
You can win with offense. What offense have they got?
That's what I just said.
That's what he said.
They don't have any offense.
No one. Other than, like I said, after you put Mauer in the lineup.
I don't care how good the pitching is. They're going to have trouble winning with offense.
I did read today that Kubel built a batting cage in his backyard. What I want to know, considering the reports on his off-season workouts normally, has he actually used it? I'm not too excited about getting the Coobs back. I think he's one of those guys who will be done early in life.
Well, I just think he always breaks down. I mean, as the story I wrote in today's paper, he's had 3 injury situations in his career, and all of them have wrecked the season.
Yeah. What about the shortstop they brought back?
Bartlett?
Where did he figure?
He looks old. I don't know where he's going to play. If he makes a team, I'd see it as a utility guy.
I think he has less chance than Kubel.
Yeah, I did too. If he makes a team, he's like a utility guy.
Yeah, I mean, there's a myriad of guys like that over the years. I think even Bert Blyleven came back with the Twins one more time at the end of his career. I mean, this happens all the time.
And they might bring back Johan Santana. They're still talking to his agents. And
Would you?
Yeah, but
if it's a low risk, high reward deal, because coming back from shoulder surgery is much tougher than Tommy John surgery.
Sure.
And he's had 2 in that shoulder cap.
You just don't have any expectations.
You have no expectations. Anything you get from him is great.
Blyleven didn't have a job. The shortstop didn't have a job.
Right. Bartlett. Bartlett. Hey, how did you fall on this? I forgot to ask you about it. Alex Rodriguez versus Bud Selig, both friends of yours. Did you think who got the good? Who came out in the right on this one?
I think Rodriguez is going to go to court and going to win the lawsuit.
Really?
What do you think of that?
And he'll play this year?
He has no shot at winning.
Based on what, Sid? There's an antitrust exemption, and also baseball contract that he signs gives full authority to the arbitrator. How's he going to win it?
And all the experts are saying that he's pretty much spitting into the wind on this one.
Depends on the judge he gets. He might get some judge that'll rule in his favor. But the Yankees have gone crazy. I talked to Hal Steinbrenner a couple months ago. They weren't going to spend any money. They were going to
change their mind.
189, is that what the number is right now?
You know, I think there's going to be a showdown between small market and big market teams now, because the television contracts are getting out of control. When the Dodgers can throw out the money to Kershaw, when the Yankees can sign Tanaka, and you got the other, you got Brewers and Twins, not making it nearly as much with their broadcast deals as these other big market teams is.
The Yankees are 194 right now, which is only $5 million over the threshold. But they have committed $500 million to new players this winter.
So if Rodriguez sits out this year, though, they're still obligated to pay him the next year when he comes back, right? So he's got a roster spot and a salary.
Why'd they get Tanaka? Because they got out from under A-Rod's $25 million.
Yes.
Their ticket sale was way down. They were having a lot of problems selling season
well, that's because they're
tickets.
charging so much
They were having a
money.
lot of problems selling commercial stuff, and they finally decided the only way to get it back is spend the money.
They'll send him home after he'll serve a suspension this year. I think the Yankees just tell him to stay at home the year after that.
Write him a check for $80 million.
And just
And that's what you're going to be doing.
Yeah.
Though. You're either going to pay a 40-year-old to come and play.
Right.
I mean, that's a tough spot, but that's their doing. But
You can't have the circus come back to town. You know, that's one circus you just want.
The great thing about him was he went to that hearing. He's the only guy that has never testified in his own behalf at one of these hearings. And he used they're not going to make Seelig testify to get outraged and storm out, so he didn't, because he knew how much evidence they had against him.
So he didn't testify.
Right. He didn't want to be asked those questions, so he didn't testify. This was to get out of a testifying.
Only thing I can't understand is how dumb these players are. They're catching one after another.
Okay.
You think they would learn from the experience of the other guys and not get involved.
And maybe there are guys doing that. But you look at Alex Rodriguez, and you look at how much money he's made. You could make a case that him taking that risk was a good risk because he made a ton of money. He got a huge contract, even if he doesn't play this year, in part because he took enhancements.
Now, without that, he wouldn't have performed.
That's what I'm saying. Well, yeah.
Well, he would have performed.
He would have performed, but he wouldn't have made the money he made.
He would have been a 330 hitting shortstop with maybe not as much power. Well, definitely not as much power. I think he was always a good hitter. If he had just settled, stay at shortstop, he could have been batting titles every year.
It is amazing. Last week they were running the retrospectives on him, though, when he was kind of a lean, 6'3" shortstop instead of a 6'5" monster.
Let me ask you this: how come these guys that sell them this stuff testify?
Because they're caught.
Huh?
They're caught.
They got busted.
I mean, they think they keep their mouth shut. I didn't sell Alex Rodriguez and himself.
Baseball game, $125,000. That's why.
Yeah, there you go. Who knows who bought who? Seelig needed to prove he was doing something to somebody. If he can do Rodriguez, then he doesn't have to worry about the other guys. Take a break, come back.
Well, the reason baseball.
The Sports Show is brought to you in part by Canterbury Park 24/7 Card Club. Don't forget the Card Club at Canterbury Park. Cambria, makers of quality quartz surfaces. Ticket King. For the best price on tickets anywhere, try Ticket King. Soundpoint Audiology. Life is worth hearing. And Cuisine Concepts. Franklin Street Bakery at 11th and Franklin in South Minneapolis, just down from Mall of America Field. And Taste of the NFL. Proud to be the premier Super Bowl party with a purpose to support hunger relief locally and nationally.
Quality. It's the result of shared values. The joy found in an honest day's work. Respect for true American craftsmanship and the need, not the want, to get things right. It's the result of remembering your roots, being forever humbled by how far you've traveled and forever hungry to push on further. Quality is a result. Quality is who we are. Cambria. Family owned, American made.
Working from Camry today, Jan.
You'll love the Camry. It's comfortable and spacious. It's got all the latest tech.
Great.
Really fun to drive, too. Need something?
I need to show this Camry.
Can you hold?
Get 0% APR for 60 months on a new Camry or lease Camry for $199 a month, plus get $500 New Year's bonus cash.
It all starts at Toyota. Let's go places.
Have you ever considered a career in the media arts?
I want to be a graphic designer.
I want to create animations.
I want to be a producer.
I want to code websites.
Minneapolis Media Institute offers a variety of programs, from digital art and design, game art and animation, to recording and music technology.
I can be anything I want to be.
I can be anything I want to be.
Minneapolis Media Institute. Start your future now.
Hi, at Dale Festi Automotive, we know you don't want to trust your car to just anybody. That's why we only hire ASE certified technicians to get the job right the first time. This commitment to excellence has led to being selected AAA Top Shop 12 years running. If you want your car fixed right the first time, bring it to Dale Festi Automotive in Hopkins. On the corner of 18th and Main Street and on the web at dalefestiautomotive.com. Mention that you saw this ad and get 15% off labor and installation.
Audi A4 drivers have spoken. And they rank the A4 highest in total quality index in its class. Experience the new Audi A4 at your local dealer today.
Looking for a nice, big, juicy rack of ribs?
Fabulous chops, huge steaks, and the Buddy Bowl? Then J.D. Hoyt's is the place for you. Hoyt's opened in 1983, and Mike Andrews and his partner John White have kept this Minnesota tradition at the top of the food chain. Managing owner Pat Montague gives us a tour.
At J.D. Hoyt's, enjoy a relaxed atmosphere, great food, friendly service, private dining room, second-to-none happy hour, just blocks from the new ballpark.
Located at 394 in North Washington. Locally owned, nationally known. Hoyt's.
There it is, locally owned, nationally known. J.D. Hoyt's on Washington, coming downtown for a game. Stop on by J.D. Hoyt's. Say hi to Pat and the gang. It is delicious. See, we were talking during the commercial break. The Pro Bowl is going on as we speak. Is the NFL, why not just eliminate this if they're that concerned about injuries and concussions? Why play an exhibition like this that means nothing?
I think eventually they'll cut it off just for that reason. I mean, right now the judge has ruled that $720 million is not enough. And they're going to have to come up with a lot more money. And the regular season, they got to take the chances of the concussions. They don't need that Pro Bowl for a couple guys to come up injured and having to pay them big money.
Well, it's just
I hear they're going to cut the thing. And on top of it, a lot of the top players don't play.
It's become the poster child for a joke game.
Yeah, it is. And it's, that's, I've always said, the one thing about baseball is it's the only all-star game where they actually play baseball.
You can't play it in
every other sport, basketball, hockey, and football. They don't actually play the sport.
Right.
I mean, soccer probably does. I wouldn't know, but
I don't even know if they have all-star games.
Yes, they do.
But it's I don't know what they're going to do. Goodell doesn't want to give it up, obviously, because that week between the Super Bowl, they want to get a rating, But it's a joke. But you know what? They'll still get attention.
I suppose
people will still watch it.
I barely watched the game. I forgot it was coming on today. I did. I woke up this morning thinking about baseball and other stuff, and all of a sudden said, the Pro Bowl's on tonight. Pro Bowl? Really?
What were you going to say, Sid?
Period. One of these days, they won't have a sponsor in Hawaii, too.
Yeah.
So the audience has gone down.
Well, they brought it to Miami a couple of years ago, but the players liked the Hawaii trip. I think.
Correct.
That's part of it.
Yep. Yeah. So if it gets to be about 28 degrees next Sunday and there's precipitation and people are having a tough time driving and all that stuff to the stadium, what's going to be the impact on the Super Bowl?
Be no more outdoor Super Bowls.
Outdoor or outdoor?
Regardless of what happens.
Outdoor in the north.
Yeah. Huh?
Outdoor in the north.
North and northeast.
North, outdoor Super
Bowl. No more Super Bowl. This was a political deal.
What do you think would be the worst case scenario, Patrick? Because snow would be actually be good.
If they get a blizzard, aren't they? They're making contingency plans to postpone it.
But what's a blizzard? I mean, I
don't know. I don't know. Sid and I were both in Pontiac in '82, and that's an indoor stadium.
San Francisco playing?
But they had an ice storm.
Yeah.
And fortunately for me, I got on the first press bus at 7 in the morning and made it to the stadium. But there were guys walking 2-3 miles. The traffic was backed up, and they were climbing fences.
Really?
The Vikings got there late.
They weren't in the game.
That was a different game. That wasn't.
I'm talking about the Super Bowl.
Yeah. He's talking about the Super Bowl.
Let me tell this story. Susri had this machine, and it wasn't working. His machine for the old time, he took it and threw it. And
I don't think he threw it. I think he just kind of flipped it.
Free computer, or what are we talking about here?
I think it was one of those old.
The first computers, yeah.
Here's what I'm curious about about the Super Bowl. Who's going to be sitting in the lower bowl? People, corporate sponsors, right? Beautiful people, A-listers, high pinky people, right? How long are they going to sit in those seats? In the second half,
if it's cold.
If it's cold.
You know what?
So what are the shots going to look like in the crowd?
I think it was worth the risk because there's a fighting chance in New York. You know, New York, this isn't like this. You know, they don't.
No, there's a big difference.
You got a fighting chance to be 45, 50 degrees, 45 degrees, and you know,
right.
they might get unlucky. It's been a lousy winter all over, but they could get lucky too.
But I think if they played in snow, if it was 20 degrees in snow, and they'd have one of the ultimate Super Bowls of all time, it'd be the one everybody would remember. You know?
Yeah, I agree.
think one of the reasons I went to New York, the ticket prices are the highest in history. All the commercials are highest in history.
Yeah, but not because it's in New York. The commercials are the same.
New York is.
But that doesn't drive the price of commercials up where the Super Bowl is.
Not the TV. I'm talking about other kind of stuff.
Sponsorships.
Yeah. Oh, sponsorships. Okay.
Well, I think they went to New York because it's New York.
Yeah, New York gets to do what they want. Yeah. Do you miss not going to the Super Bowl?
No. The thing that bugged me about the Super Bowl was all week you got nothing but openings to the players. They take you to the different hotels. After the game, you can't get near to these guys. I mean, they have no control. All the writers, like Eric Nelson and Larry Fitzgerald, who watch a game on TV someplace in a tent, they're in that locker room first. There's 50 guys around every player. You can't get to
No, so there's just not enough access for a guy like you.
Well, that's what happens in national events.
What are we ripping him for?
Yeah.
Take a break, come back.
Where did that come from?
The Sports Show is brought to you in part by Alary's, the original St. Paul sports bar, now with 65 beers on tap.
Attention, please get a pencil. Announcing a hearing breakthrough, a microchip that is so small it can fit on the head of a pen. Worn hidden entirely in your ear canal, making you hear clear as a bell. And it's proudly made in the USA. Do you feel left out of conversations? Is it difficult to hear words in noisy environments? Do others say that you listen to the TV or radio too loudly? Do you feel like a bother to others due to your problems hearing? If you answered yes, you may qualify for this new chip in the ear. Only 50 participants are needed to try this microchip, so get a pencil. Call now to see if you qualify. This revolutionary chip actually mimics the natural sound selection of the human ear. With multi-core microprocessors, technology used in the most advanced computers, sounds are analyzed and classified each millisecond, controlling noise and making speech clear. Do not wait. Call now to see if you qualify to wear this revolutionary new microchip.
I have evidence that proves my dad's a space alien. Speaks a weird language. Drinks green stuff. He says he's from Albuquerque. I'm not buying it. I mean, just look at him. And one more thing. He has a spaceship. The evidence doesn't lie. My dad is an alien.
The highly advanced Audi A6, named to car and drivers 10 best. Experience exceptional value on the Audi A6 at your local dealer today.
There it is. Stop on by. See Bruce Bonine, as Sid did yesterday, and the whole gang at Audi Minneapolis. They got it going on, and with this cold weather, and it's perfect. You just get into one of those SUVs, the Q7.
I talked to your Audi guy.
Bruce Bonine.
His sister, she's my barber.
He does a good job, man. That's a nice cut.
Yesterday
Really?
and, Thursday I talked to him. He says the business is fantastic.
It is, yeah.
That's because he's on the sports show.
That's because he's on the sports show.
Everybody who's on the sports show has fantastic business, including the bail bondsman.
That's right. He says he gets phone calls all the time.
Yeah, we get a lot of outlaws that have been watching this show, man.
Well, why do you think my other buddy advertises too? The bail bonds guy and the lawyer guy. They work together.
We're still reaping the rewards of that loyal Dark Star crowd. The Timberwolves, do you think they're a playoff team? What do you think? They lost to Portland last night. They pulled one out in Golden State. Where are you at with this team? You seem to kind of Vasily.
No, they don't match up with Portland for some reason.
Not many teams do.
Portland's a pretty good team.
Yeah.
They got Damian Lillard. We got
he
Rubio.
is an unbelievable player.
No kidding.
I'll tell you one thing. When I see that Steve, what's his name, that guard, Golden State guy?
Stephon Curry.
Huh?
Curry.
We had a chance.
Ooh, she good.
Yeah.
They had a chance to have him. They'd have a
Klay
playoff
Thompson's
team
pretty
then.
good, too.
Oh, he's something.
Yeah.
We would have had Steph Curry if Syracuse hadn't gone so many overtimes. It was their fault. If Syracuse had won that game in regulation, we would have never had to have Johnny Flynn.
Because Johnny Flynn would have never had a legacy.
Instead of went 6 overtimes, and
he's some kind of player.
Yeah, he's really fun to watch.
Boy. He's automatic.
You can tell he's.
I just think this may be a snake bit franchise. I mean, you start talking about the Wolves.
Gee, you think?
They're snake bit, man. I mean, the whole signing with Joe Smith, drafted Willow Avery, Indy Ebby. I mean, it just goes on and on with this team. We should have had Steph Curry. We should have kept this guy.
Alex mentioned this before. Honestly, if you'd have just kept Trey Burke, you'd have a pretty nice team right now because you could take the minutes away from Rubio.
That's true.
The Wolves are cursed.
But you could tell from the first time you saw Curry play that he was a legacy player. That he had an old man because he always finds
the right spot.
The openings. You know, he knows where the.
And he knows where this other guy is.
He knows where the seams are. You know.
He's got such a quick release. Yeah. He gets that jumper off. You know, he can get it off with pressure and everything. It's just. You saw that coming. You saw it coming in college.
Rubio's played a lot better the last couple of games.
He's trying hard. He's trying to go to the hoop. He's trying to do all these things. There's just things he can't do. He can't stop and shoot a jump shot. He can't do things.
I didn't realize. I think the guy said last night that he's made one basket in the fourth quarter this season.
No, I think.
No, it was a different statistic.
Said, like,
is that right?
Hadn't made one in the fourth quarter since December 13th.
Yeah, that's something like that.
Yeah. Yep. I got one question though. It's the year 2014. We got everything going. Is this the best we can do for a mask over a guy with a broken nose?
Who, Shved?
Yeah. I mean, come on. We had better masks than this 30 years ago. The thing is, we should have better masks for a broken nose, don't you think, in the modern era?
I was kind of watching the game, doing other stuff. I look back and I see this alien.
He's got a big beak on it.
Who the heck is that?
It's just get your eye poked out if you get close to him.
It's just too bad, though, that they didn't at least invent some structure for a mask back in the 30s or 40s. Because we wouldn't.
That's right.
Yeah. So give me Adelman, Flip. How do you think they've done this year?
Well, certain clubs they don't match up with. They don't match up with
you think Adelman and Flip are on the same page and moving in the right direction? What do we got?
They were lucky to beat Golden State.
Yeah, my question is, do you think Adelman and Flip together are moving this in the right direction and they're just getting closer to being a good team, or are they just kind of sitting out there in no man's land?
You don't know what team's going to show up. They aren't a consistent team.
You ain't going to get him on the record.
You're
not going to get him on the record. You're avoiding the question.
If you want them to be good, they got to put together 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 game winning streak, and they've never done that.
Did you, by the way, see who came off the bench for Portland for 13 or 14 minutes and got a few points and looked pretty good?
Williams?
C.J. McCollum.
C.J. McCollum did, who they brought through here 3 times.
Draft choice at number 9.
Yep. He was the one that a lot of people thought they'd take.
Yep. So does Adelman come back next year and coach?
Who?
Adelman. Will he coach next year?
If he's got a contract for $5 million, yeah.
So you think that's a slam dunk?
If his contract's through, he won't come back.
I don't know. This is
they
really
won't bring him back.
I tell you, you know what? They're the most fun team in town to watch, and they drive you nuts.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, the second highest scoring team in the league, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I mean that game against Golden State the other night was a fantastic game to watch. Yeah, I mean that was
fun to watch.
Yeah, they are, and they got enough offensive players. Martin does enough things. It's fun.
Pekovic has become something.
Yeah, take a break, come back.
The Sports Show is brought to you in part by Case Law, for all your legal needs, not your typical law firm. And Griffin Bail Bonds. It's better to know us and not need us than to need us and not know us.
If you guys could go on a free shopping spree anywhere, where would you go? I'd go to the grocery store. Pizza, ice cream. I'd go shop for clothes. You know where I go? I'd go to Ticket King. Ticket King! At Ticket King, you can buy great seats for the Vikings, Christian Ponder, the Wild, Zach Parise, the Timberwolves, Ricky Rubio, the Twins. We love the Twins. Yep, this is where I go. Vikings, Twins, Wild, Timberwolves, Gophers, theater, and concerts, too. Justin Bieber! Hey, I like him first. For details, go to TicketKingOnline.com. Any ticket, anytime, anywhere. It's the real thing. It's Ticket King. Right, Dad?
Couldn't have said it any better myself.
That's for sure.
Hi, I'm Daryl Johnston. Once again, Taste of the NFL is the hottest ticketed Super Bowl. Join me, along with countless other NFL stars, as we take over Brooklyn on Saturday, February 1st, for the annual Party with a Purpose, where food, football, and fun come together to help kick hunger in America. For tickets or more information, visit tasteofthenfl.com.
Taste the NFL coming to New York. Wayne Kostrowski and the crew will be there. It is the event with a purpose, raise money for the right cause. You've been there many times for that event, the Super Bowl. You like that. Of course, you like food.
That's the best event of all of them. That's even better than the NFL party.
Yeah, good food, huh?
Where's the...
Well, they bring all those top players in, and they serve, and that's an extra attraction.
Kind of fun. Do you think the Vikings are going to get active on free agents here?
I don't know what they're going to do.
I didn't understand your line of thinking. You were talking about, you were defending Ponder this morning on your radio show.
Yeah. Oh,
and
that's
then
a surprise.
You were starting to point out statistics of other quarterbacks that were drafted later that were really good. I didn't understand what point you were trying to make.
The point is, it's hard to judge whether a quarterback's going to be great or not great.
Correct.
That's what I'm trying to point out.
Correct.
That they took.
But then why would you defend Ponder in that same, if you've admitted that you can't?
I'm defending Ponder because I think he's only had 2 years. I think he's got to have a chance. I had Dan Devine tell me.
Wait, now, Dan Devine told you what?
That Joe Montana never played in the National Football.
He told you that?
Yeah.
That's good.
Well, look that up on the microfilm.
We went through that.
I want that on the microfilm.
You got Ponder and Montana in the same sentence?
The point is, you can't tell if a quarterback's going to be good.
Let's see what Norv Turner does with him.
Okay. Do you think, Patrick, a coach can make a quarterback?
He's done it.
I think he can make him adequate. You know.
That's what I wonder. I mean,
He's not going to make him a star. I don't know.
Lavelle, can the coach make a quarterback?
I think you have some influence, but you need talent to work with. And Norv likes to throw the ball deep. And does Ponder throw a good deep ball? I don't think he does. I don't think it's a good matchup for him.
The myth about Norv Turner is he's a big passing game guy, but he loves to run the ball. That's why Adrian Peterson's going to be here. Right. He loves to run the ball and then throw it deep.
Yeah.
Kind of the old Oakland Raiders philosophy.
Well, they've been trying to do that with Ponder, haven't they?
How about that Adrian Peterson? One injury after another.
I think the nature of his body and what he does, it's going to be that way every year. You just hope it's not debilitating.
Well, he's getting to that age now. You have to start wondering.
It is. I mean, 29, 30, you know.
He's had some sort of surgical procedure 3 straight years now.
But he's just so tight and he's wired so, you know, I think he's always going to pull muscles and things like that.
Vikings fans are beautiful, though. They think the Vikings can trade him and get 3 number 1s, 3 number 2s, and 2 number 3s. Like
no, only the Vikings
gave up for Herschel
Only the
Walker.
Vikings trade for Herschel Walker. No one else does.
You wouldn't get a number 1.
Huh?
You wouldn't get a number 1 in modern times. You wouldn't get a first
especially
round.
the way the running back. Nobody knows how to use the running back.
In fact, you owe $14 million for next year and more to come.
Yep.
He's been beat up pretty good, boy. He gets hit more probably than any running back.
He carries it more.
Yeah, but he's been a great career. It's just that you can't defy the odds at that position, is what you're saying, Lavelle, right?
Right, his running style. I mean, he carries the ball a lot, but he's not afraid of contact. He tries to run through people and run over people. That takes a toll.
Look that Dan Devine quote up in this microfilm. See you next week.
The Sports Show is brought to you in part by Canterbury Park 24/7 Card Club. Don't forget the Card Club at Canterbury Park. Cambria, makers of quality quartz surfaces. Ticket King. For the best price on tickets anywhere, try Ticket King. Soundpoint Audiology. Life is worth hearing. And Cuisine Concepts. Franklin Street Bakery at 11th and Franklin in South Minneapolis, just down from Mall of America Field. and Taste of the NFL. Proud to be the premier Super Bowl party with a purpose to support hunger relief locally and nationally.